Welcome back to Swat&Vee Immigration News. Please don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel. Let's get into the video. The plight of undocumented immigrants has been at the front and center of Americans' national political debate for decades. But there is one group of immigrants whose predicament has been largely ignored or forgotten. It is the more than 1.2 million people waiting in line for employment-based green cards. Most individuals who are stuck in the work-based green card backlog are Indian nationals, the majority of whom work in the information technology sector, currently living and working in the United States. The United States only makes available 140,000 green cards annually for those who seek to immigrate based on their employment. The reason Indian nationals are facing inordinate delays in obtaining permanent resident status is a U.S. law that says citizens of no single nation can get more than 7% of green cards any given year. That means no more than 9,800 Indian citizens can be admitted as permanent residents a year under the employment-based green card category. A majority of professionals coming to the United States every year for employment through two popular visa work visas, H1 and L1, are Indians. According to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, nearly 75% of the more than 421,000 H1B visa applicants in the fiscal year were Indian citizens. Chinese nationals were a distant second, 12%. Similarly, a majority of the professionals in the country on L1 visas are also Indian nationals. H1B and L1 visa holders can only live and work in the US for a limited number of years, so therefore most of them apply for permanent resident status within a few years of arriving in the United States. In any given year, tens of thousands of Indians in certain years, more than 100,000 apply for green cards. With no more than 10,000 Indians eligible for green cards a year, a vast majority of these applicants have no choice but to wait for their turn. Pointing out the absurd nature of the backlog, Forbes wrote earlier this year, without a change in immigration law, it will be sometime in the year 2216, 195 years out from now, when the last person born in India waiting today in the employment-based immigrant backlog is expected to receive a green card. Apple CEO Tim Cook wrote in a recent letter to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, the backlogs have created uncertainty for major employers and caused anxiety for our employees and their families who have, in some cases, waited decades to receive permanent resident status. Those who are stuck in the green card backlog and immigration activists backing out of being campaigning to remove the country quota for years, calling the system discriminatory. In recent years, a number of lawmakers have introduced bills in the U.S. Congress to eliminate the country cap. These legislative efforts have the backing of America's technology industry, the biggest beneficiary of the H1B and L1 visa. The problem of those in the backlog were compounded by the fact that the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services processing time has considerably increased in the aftermath of COVID-19. The agency reportedly failed to fill the annual quota of 140,000 in the last fiscal year. However, in recent week, two congressional interventions gave a small glimmer of hope for many in Green Hat Limbo. Because of COVID-related restrictions imposed by the Trump administration of foreign nationals entering the United States, roughly 120,000 green card slots that were allotted for family members of U.S. citizens have gone unused. On 3rd of September, two Democrat lawmaker, Representative Kathy Manning of North Carolina and Scott Peters of California, urged the Biden administration to explore the possibility of allotting the unused slots for those in the green card backlog. Today, the Biden administration has taken no action on this request. In a separate move, Indian American Representative Roger Krishnamurthy, Manning, and 38 other colleagues wrote to the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, requesting him to provide green cards to tens of thousands in the backlog through the budget reconciliation package. Failure to provide a path to lawful permanent residence for the 1.2 million people in employment-based green card backlog, most of whom are H-1B visa holders, would be tantamount to staging an economic recovery with one hand tied behind our back, the roads. The Democrats did attempt to include a measure to get green card permanent residents involved with a pathway to citizenship for millions of undocumented immigrants in $3.5 trillion economic spending bill, which is still being refined. But that move was shot down twice by Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonald. This keeps those in the green card backlog in limbo because they are uncertain about their future. They are unable to change jobs, as in some cases it would involve starting a green card process all over again. In addition, many do not buy homes or invest in property because of their uncertain integration status. There have been two unsuccessful attempts to reform United States immigration system in the first 2 decades of the 21st century. Because of the current polarization and divided nature of politics in the US, it does not seem likely that any significant reform will be forthcoming in the early years of this decade. This means, unfortunately, the Indians in green card limbo today will most probably have to remain there for some time. That said, however, the US immigration system will be reformed at some time in the future. And when it does, through the efforts of Indian American advocates with influence in both political parties, the years spent in limbo for many will be rewarded with green cards. Please share this information with family and friends who may need it. You can also help us spread the message by sharing it on all social media. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit on the notification bell for more immigration updates. Bye!